Episode 120. John Foster, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Anyway, hanging in there. I was trying to beatbox to that little intro we have going. I got to get a new intro.
Maybe if we could hear your beatbox, it would be
No.
the next level.
You definitely don't want
Let's
to hear
run it back. Let's do it right now. You ready?
I'll get it on the record.
I knew if I pushed you into it, you'd do it.
Yeah, that's right. This episode, folks, sponsored by our friends at Datsusara. Check out online dsgear.com. Antimicrobial made of hemp for victory. Check them out online. Like I said, dsgear.com. John, we got a great episode here today. A guy who's been in the jiu-jitsu scene forever. Obviously, he's in the Ricardo Almeida lineage down there. He's a black belt in his own right, South Jersey Jiu-Jitsu. He's an instructor. He's a commentator at the highest level of our sport. He's been involved forever, and he's a mentor to a lot of up-and-coming athletes. Want to bring him on right away?
Let's do it.
All right, Mr. Jay Regalbuto. How are you, sir?
What is up, gentlemen? How you guys doing?
Awesome, man. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope I didn't butcher your name.
No, that was actually 10 times better than most people say it. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Perfect. Research.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about.
How's things?
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man. You know, you and I. So John runs a club up here in the Annapolis Valley, and he's been part of our sub-series events before, commentated, competed in a few of them, and like that's how Jay and I got to know each other through, just through the whole jiu-jitsu family, I guess, and through you commentating. I guess I'd randomly shoot you messages, and you'd send athletes up here to compete and stuff, and it's just a small world. So, how you been?
Dude, good. And I'll tell you, they had Amanda went up and Leon went up, and both won. Pretty sure both won the event.
They did, yeah.
Man, they had nothing but great things to say, not only about the event and everything, but because that was in Nova Scotia, right?
Yes, sir. That's where we are.
They said that was like beautiful, man. Wherever you put them up, I know they said it was like a beautiful place and well run and all that. Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, I've been good, man. I really can't complain. For me, the COVID thing wasn't too bad. My business was considered essential. Other than jiu-jitsu, I have a business where I sell to like utility companies and things like that, and it was considered essential. So I never had off. Like it was, we worked right through this. The jiu-jitsu got shut down hard in this area, really hard. But you know what though, man, the competitors. The competitive groups had little secret rooms that they weren't advertising, but it wasn't like it was like irresponsible and just reckless. Like, they were pretty much all rolling with each other, all the, you know what I mean? All the same people rolling, going home, coming in, rolling. So it's not like it was, just a bunch of randomness.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's super interesting because John, we're up here, so we're in Nova Scotia in the Maritime, so it's Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, and Newfoundland. These 4 provinces, and we kind of have this bubble, so no one is allowed in here unless you quarantine. If you come from somewhere else, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So we had like 10 cases total, maybe.
Did you guys shut down hard?
We did, but now we're back open, like full classes, no restrictions, there's hockey games going on with 2,000 people. It's crazy, man.
As of last week, as of the first, this is 4 days ago. Yeah. Up until then, it was the groups of 10 and stuff, and we were, everyone has to wear masks now out in public and wherever we go.
Yeah.
With that shit. So it's not awesome, but it finally opened up so that we can really start training now. We've been doing the same thing, just kind of training low key for the last couple months and keeping it to that closer, isolated group, and
that was hard for competitors, man. That was difficult for competitors, man. Dude, especially if you were in the city, if you were in the city and don't have a weight room, don't have you had nothing, man. That's stressful for a competitor. You know what I mean? Just somebody who has that in their blood to train and stuff like that. It's a stressful situation for them as well.
It's hard to just put the brakes on, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? Lift your bed up 7,000 times a day.
Right? Lots of push-ups, right?
Yeah. Prison workouts for months.
That's
cool. That's good. You guys are open back up and stuff over there. It's around here. It's still. I I think that there's. I probably should know this answer, but I think that there's limits to how many people you can have. Like it might be like 25%, something like that.
Yeah, we've been doing that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Have you guys kind of like flown under the radar a little bit? Like I know up here it seems to be like, like always. It's kind of nice sometimes to be the unknown sport.
For sure. For a little bit though, it was weird because we didn't know like what classification it was going to fall under, because I mean, let's be honest, if anybody walked in and saw what we did, they'd be like, dude, no way, you guys can't do this. So everything kind of fell under wrestling, judo, and stuff like that. But for us, I'm sorry, what was the question again? I went off. I lost myself there.
We were talking about like what were we talking about?
We were talking about
at least it wasn't just me.
Jesus Christ.
We were talking about Jesus Christ.
I said we were talking about jiu-jitsu. I said, Jesus, I can't remember either, man.
All three. I think we were talking, like if someone came in and saw what you guys were doing.
What classification you're under,
So there was the whole pro rules thing that came out, though. There was the pro rules thing that came out where if you had professional athletes, they could train. So we have some guys that technically that's what they do for a living is do jiu-jitsu or do MMA. So, you kind of have those loopholes that you can go through. But I had a 6 a.m. session a few weeks ago. And when you walk in, you can't see the mats. You know what I mean? There's we have windows that block the mats in the one school I teach at. And guy came in at 6 a.m., man. And when I left the mat, and I just kind of stopped him at the door when he walked in, because it's 6 a.m., man. Not many people are coming in at 6 a.m. to say, hey, what's this all about? You know what I mean? You're pretty good idea of why you're coming in here. And kept asking to see, like, I just want to see how you can train during this and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, you got to come back and ask the owner. I don't own this place, man. I can't talk to you about it. But
shit
what was he
disturber.
digging for? Yeah, just looking for something.
That's the only thing I could think of, man, is he was digging for something, But
I'm a reporter.
Other than that, man, we have
X9 Fox.
Right?
Show me your badge.
We did have OHS show up at our fitness gym up here, and we passed just fine. We put a lot of steps in place over at that gym, but no one's rolling with each other, so it was possible, right?
Dude, and you want to know what? I remembered the question. You said, are we flying under the radar? Like, is jiu-jitsu flying under the radar? That was the question that we all forgot.
I remembered it wrong, too.
Right? And I really think, though, if you don't advertise it, like if you're not, you know what I mean? Like you're not saying, hey, classes at this, let's pack, you know what I mean? Which, it's funny. I do that for the one school I teach at. Just because it is pro classes, but like at the other school I teach at, South Jersey Jiu-Jitsu, the school I started at and I got belted under and everything, I teach the 6 a.m.s there. That's still just students only. You know what I mean? Just people who are current members or enrolling members or students. And then the pro classes that I teach at the new school, Studio 84, which is really cool, man. It's a Guy Mione is a black belt in the Ricardo Almeida Association with under Nick Catone. He's trained under Tom DeBlas for a long time. Nice. He opened up a beautiful school up there, and he brought on me to teach the pro classes. He brought John Combs in from Colorado to teach. I mean, dude, you're gonna have John Combs, dude, not only teaching some advanced classes, but teaching like your basic class and your kids class, teens class. Like such an opportunity for kids to learn from an ADCC vet, and not like some old past ADCC vet, like an up and coming star. You know what I mean? So I'm teaching pro classes over there now, and it's a little more opened up to outsiders because of really opened up to outsiders because it's the pro level. We're looking for, the local competitors who need a mat to really push the pace, because that's hard to get, man. It's hard for any gym if you're not, Renzo Gracie in Manhattan, if you're not Atos, if you're not Marcelo Garcia, if you're not one of those monster schools to really house a good competitor. Even I don't want to say you just like ADCC level type competitors, but even like blue and purple belts, man, these blue and purple belts coming up, dude, they're vicious, man. They're good. And like a hobbyist black belt doesn't stand a chance. Like a hobbyist black belt doesn't stand a chance. So when you're that level and you're a blue belt or purple belt and you're going to an advanced class and, you're basically just not getting pushed, like you kind of need another room, man. Yeah. And that's what's kind of happening over at Studio 84, which is really cool. A couple times a week, just have a gathering, all the local competitors. People come from a couple hours away, man, and black belts, everything, awesome. Man. Do technique, do some drilling. It's been fun, man. It's been fun splitting between the two schools for me.
It's funny. I think if you want to trick the government, like to keep your academy open, all you have to do is use Instagram, because like not one of them fucking has a clue on how to use Instagram. I can guarantee you that.
Not a one.
Like
you're so right.
Like man, I'm telling you, like I had a couple conversations in the last couple of days, and they're like with people who are like should know these things, and they're like, wait a minute, like you're telling me that you can have fans? I'm like, yeah, the rules have changed. Like you can have fans at the venue now. Like, oh wow, I didn't know. I'm like, what the fuck?
Your job.
You're the one in charge.
Yeah, exactly. It's your job.
Yeah. You had one thing to know.
Instagram.
Oh, that's cool. It's opened up to fans too, man. I think so. Fight to Win's coming here to Philly for the next. It's like 3 weeks in October at least. Well, at least two of them are Fight to Win, and one's a Subversive, which is cool to have that down here in Philly. And dude, I'm just so happy that like other than Texas, like Philly got the call. I was like, just so cool because so many competitors. I usually commentate the event, so it's always a good time, and he always puts great matches in Philly.
He does. Well, Philly's deep. Philly's very deep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like the whole area there. John's commentated and competed in a lot of events we've done. What you guys obviously maybe we can get you guys commentating an event together sometime.
Oh man, I would love it. I would love that. Yeah, I had fun, man. Yo, I'll tell you, I get lost in commentary. But yo, I'll tell you what, man. I think commentary helped me become a much better coach, a much more effective coach, because I've probably done close to 80 events and well over 3,000 matches, well over. And a lot of them at like ADCC trials, Fight to Wins, a lot of that stuff. And also, man, dude, I'm just one of those people. I don't, other than The Office and the Food Network, I don't really watch TV. So like, I just constantly watch instructionals and tournament. I don't like anything that's on TV. I'm pretty much watching if it's jiu-jitsu. But man, getting to see so many high level people win, right? Getting to see so many high-level people win, and getting to see what does work and what doesn't work, and to be able to kind of take that extra and just get rid of it and really just focus on the things that win. When you could give that to an athlete, it don't have to be a wrestler, it don't have to be a collegiate wrestler or a judo, anything like that, dude. If you're just like athletic, you could take a strategy. This is what I've been doing with people, man. And it's just take a strategic approach to winning and defending yourself. It's really the logic of when I first started jiu-jitsu, I was taught clinch, drag it to the ground, pass the guard, mount, smack him in the face till they turn belly down, take the back and choke. Like that's the map, the roadmap to win. And if you think of it like MMA, sport jiu-jitsu, like ADCC, like that's the exact way to win in the quickest way possible. You know what I mean? Like you take down, you pass the guard, you get to the mount, so I eliminate everything else that isn't to do with that roadmap. Now, don't get me wrong. There's different strategies and different things we work, but everything is focused on getting to the back or getting to like a leg trap or leg entanglement, which we work a lot. I actually have a specific guy, Luke Abdul Nasir. Luke Zaman, he's a Ricardo Almeida black belt that comes in every Wednesday morning just to work leg locks. And honestly, man, he's a wizard. So like we have white and blue belts who can confidently sit in a leg entanglement without fear and understand what they're doing, because they're competitors and they're, working strictly on competitively how to win. You know what I mean? So imagine that everything you learned in jiu-jitsu, forget everything that doesn't work. And from the start, you literally just learned how to effectively win in competition. That's kind of the approach I take. And it's simple. Honestly, man, it's no different than everything Gordon and Danaher. That's all I'm doing is watching the best people do it and just replicating it with
the people that
athletes.
Win all the time. And what you're seeing is leg entanglement and back submission.
Leg entanglement and back. Kimura's will work on because it's great upper body control. Straight arm locks and ankle locks, there's just a little too much play and a little too much. So another thing that I really pay attention to too is like not only percentages, but where is this going to leave you if it fails? Right. If you're in mount and you're attacking an arm bar and you're going to a cross side position, honestly, if that's working more than 20% of the time, you know what I mean? It's probably working 20-30% of the time. So that means that the other 70% of the time you're ending up on your back in a position that now you have to work from. So we don't cut the corners there. Very similar to how Gordon attacked Mateus. Denise, if you watch that match, he was on mount. What did he keep doing? He kept going for the double unders to ride high to try to get to his back, right? And every time that Mateus would pull his arm out, Gordon didn't get frustrated and try to arm bar him. You know what I mean? Because he didn't want to end up in that position. So what did he do? He just kept restarting the system over, restarted over. Same thing with entering guard. Look at these great guard players, right? Look how many people step directly into their guard and let them go reverse de la Hiva. You know what I mean? Start getting deep with their hooks and deep. Man, retreat out of that and step in when you're ready to move. Like, again, I try to teach the competitors specifically to win.
So you're just saying don't step in and engage.
Don't step in and wait.
Don't move until you're ready to pass.
Yeah. Exactly. If I step in and somebody puts a de la Hiva leg, if I'm not pushing it down and immediately attacking the control of it, well, then now I'm allowing him to be a step ahead of me. No, I'm talking from feet to floor. You should always be making your opponent have to move, have to reset, and then go. You know what I mean? Even from standing, pulling their head out of position so that they have to square it back up to move. I always want to have to make them reset before they have to move again. So I mean, man, jiu-jitsu is it's trying to be just smarter than your opponent.
100%, you know what I mean? Do you find there's more success with stand-up in wrestling, judo, or sitting and scooting?
So here's the thing: it really depends on. No, I actually love this question.
But you see it so much, and so many guys are successful with sitting.
Yeah,
from purely jiu-jitsu perspective, not an actual fight.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. From a sport jiu-jitsu perspective. So here's the approach that I like. Okay, if you're not a purebred wrestler, okay, shots are difficult. Jiu-jitsu people are just bad at wrestling, and even two jiu-jitsu people who we consider to be good wrestlers wrestling each other is bad wrestling. You know what I mean? Like there's no drive through, there's no secondary shot. You know what I mean? There's no single leg to hip to, you know what I mean? There's no like follow through. So that's hard to teach. It's hard to do that when you're not in a wrestling room, you know?
Yeah. So, you need to be doing 90% wrestling and 10% jiu-jitsu to be really good at wrestling. Not the other way around. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm big on foot sweeps, far picks, stuff like that. I follow a lot of Steve Mako's stuff, who's got some amazing foot sweeps. And I'm going to tell you, again, you could take a semi-athletic person and really work on getting a head out of position and foot sweeps and far knee picks. Far knee pick is how Gordon took down Tractor in the finals. ADCC kept setting him up, head out of position. He posts the far leg, pick the knee, push that. When I tell you, it's so easy when you actually drill it and do it with intention, not just let's see what happens. Like head out of position, go for the near sweep if they step the far foot, or step the near foot if they step the far foot. But again, my guys all have this trained in their head. So this is the the mat from that position. Now, as far as sitting guard goes, here's the deal, man. It can be hard to get people to the floor. I am a big fan of wrestling up. Okay, I think Tanya Duarte does it amazing. I think Marcelo Garcia is one of the best ones at that. And I really feel if you get into that wrestling situation, it's how I push my guys to do this is to change the level so that we're down on the ground. And the moment that they step forward, now we're getting in on the ankle to get to the hip. If I can get to the hip, it's exposing the back. It's either going to drop them to turtle. It just gives me so many attacking positions simply by getting to the hip. William Tackett, Roberto Jimenez. Look at those guys. As soon as they get to your hip, what are they doing, man? They get to your hip. They're not even mat returning. Roberto will just spin in a circle until he can get you off balance and get to your back. He's so good at it, man.
Like a tick.
Yeah, from that bottom position, man, I'm a big fan of wrestling up. Even when you're trapped from a bottom position, like in half guard, getting your underhooks, creating the space to come back up and wrestling up to a body lock, get them up to their feet. It's how, and I do a lot of match references only because I watch so much jiu-jitsu, and I like to point out things that I'm talking about where they're actually being done. And that's how Duarte got Nick down in the finals of ADCC. It was a bottom position. He was from the half guard, and he started pushing up. And Kanan does a very good job of keeping his head centered, so it's very difficult to sprawl once he grabs your leg. Because once he's on your leg or your hip and his head is in the middle of your chest, now he took away your ability to sprawl because of where his head's positioned. Nick went to turtle. It's how he got to his back. But that's a perfect example of how you could use wrestling up to get to that position. And pretty much half of Marcelo's matches, you can watch how effective wrestling up is.
Yeah. The GOAT.
One of
the GOATs. That's an argument, too.
Yeah. He's one now, man. He's one, too. Him and with the Danaher system is the back attack, man. Dude, you look at the old Marcelo stuff from his early ADCCs against Rico and stuff like that, and just watch how much focus he puts on the back control, on the upper body control, on the head and arm control, just staying tight where his ear is to Rico's ear. Like, watch his control. Hey, he doesn't even care where his legs are at. It's all about that upper body control, man. And so I follow, Marcelo with the back stuff and Danaher with the back stuff too. And we have tremendous amount of success, not only with finishing from there. And it's another thing that, I really stress is having high percentage of finishes from that position. Like if you're getting to that position 10 times in practice, I'd be upset if you're not finishing at 9,
Yeah, right.
And if you're finishing 5 times, then you need to really work on control,
What kind of coach are you? So I'm not a coach, but we're all black belts in jiu-jitsu, but both of you guys are coaches, and for a long time, both coaches. What kind of approach do you use, Jay? Like when you have you've got high profile students, you have regular students, like people like me who are, like you said, hobbyist black belts.
Yeah.
How do you switch? Like, what's your approach to?
I don't.
Nice.
I don't. Well, so here's the thing, and I think it's why like the white belts who start with me kind of stick with what I my teaching and stuff like that is I don't believe that jiu-jitsu needs to be so difficult that I can't teach a brand new white belt and an experienced competitor the same thing. I think that we put too much into it, right? Because here's the thing. If I'm teaching a competitor the most efficient and effective way to finish somebody, and it's not difficult technique, it's not doing flips over top of people or crazy barambolos, but if I can teach an effective, efficient way to why can't I teach the same exact way to a brand new person?
Yeah,
true. I'll tell you, the guard passing alone, just being able to teach brand new people float passing and pressure pass, double under pressure passing and things like that right off the bat, and also having a competitor's mindset as far as just the things like posture, inside control, you know what I mean? Like working on your base, like those fundamental things. I teach the same thing in my basic 6 a.m. class that I do in the pro class. Not on the same schedule, but I teach the very same tech. I don't teach anything different. Now, here's the thing. Now, I used to, before COVID, I taught 12 classes a week. And they were you know, a kids class, a teen class, bunch of basic classes, you know, like a mixed level class here and there, where I had to be under, you know, hey, we're teaching guard this week, we're teaching passing this week. So since COVID, now I'm doing the 6 a.m.s and I'm on my own kind of curriculum, and I just totally restarted with just, we're going to be working on passing for about a month, then we're going to move into the bottom position. And with the pro classes that I'm teaching, it's fully my curriculum. So right now I'm literally getting to teach everything I've ever wanted to teach for the first time ever. So for me, I have never enjoyed coaching more than right now. And it's gratifying to have like black belts and brown belts from other schools come into my classes. You know what I mean? People drive 2 hours, and it's like flattering that. Now, don't get me wrong. They're coming for the training. The training is very, very good. It's not just the technique. Like, there's people in the room. You know, everybody in the world may not know them, but locally they're all solid, tough rounds, and you know, people come in for that. But man, I've never enjoyed teaching more than I am right now, and it's getting to again, it's not like I'm inventing anything. I'm not inventing anything. I'm literally just watching the best guys win and using their technique in an effective and just teaching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To people, it's funny to me that I see
strategy, man.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, when you just follow the base, it's not as difficult as you think, man. It's not as difficult as you think. And I'm primarily no-gi too. I just, don't get me wrong. I loved the gi for a long time. I just, I don't know, man. Just, I love leg entanglements. I think heel hooks bring such a whole different dynamic to the sport. And so I like having rules where anything goes, you know.
Yeah, there's been a massive shift, with the leg locks being introduced. A lot of guys are swinging into no-gi and preferring that style of sparring and competition. I don't know. I myself, I mean, I really love the roll no-gi, but I think I favor the gi. And I think that's switched. I think it was, 50-50 and maybe even a little more no-gi for a while there when I was a little younger. And now that I'm getting older, I don't know, man. I like those thick pajamas, right?
Nice to slow things down once in a while, right?
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have my grips, man. I get hurt less.
So again, too, like everything I talk about, though, like I'm always speaking with competitors in mind. You know,
course, yeah.
I would probably do things not a ton different, but I would definitely show a little more. Again, I won't show competitors things that I don't think are more than 60% of a you know what I mean, of a chance of it working. I don't like low percentage stuff. Exactly. Especially when you're dealing with people whose like paycheck and size of their paycheck depends on what they do on that decision. So, you know.
Man, that's why I always kind of thought, like, I look back at our events. So, like, again, like you just said, Jay, you're like, you guys are up in Nova Scotia? Like, not a fucking clue. No one understands where we are. You know, because
you're east of me.
Trying to keep it that way.
Yeah, right. But like back in the day when we would do these events, like we had like a lot of really high level athletes come up here.
Yeah.
And competing, like, the way I always looked at it was like, it was like pros versus Joes almost. Like but not that we were the Joes, but it's like you're training here high level. Maybe like at that point, 2015, people were training like maybe once a day, maybe more. I don't know. But like your room is certainly not like it is. You don't have the sparring. You don't have the looks like you get. People are doing it full time in the States and then coming up here. And that's why I always thought it was such a cool experience, because you get people like Leon and Amanda who are going and fighting Gabby Garcia, like, and Amanda fought and beat John Student, like Charlene, like when she came up here. And those are memories and experiences that to test yourself and experience these things against people who are competing on the world level. It's cool.
Yeah. It's amazing how small the community is, man. It's neat. ADCC was cool, man. Like that was a really cool experience. Like to be that close to everybody like that and sit in the coach's chair there, man. Amanda had a really good run there. She had a really good match with Anna Vieira, Adolfo's sister. She ended up losing to her in OT, but Yeah, man, they're special, dude, and they're so young, man. Dude, Amanda just turned 22 or 21. Like, dude, they're so young. You know,
that's the thing. What I always say, John and I say that a lot to one another because we're both like, I'm 40 and John's 46. So,
42.
like, you know, like,
no, yeah, it's been rough.
He's younger. I don't know, 37 or whatever. But according to my wrinkles, I'm 78. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
I'm full of Botox.
When you're 40, you're kind of like, how come they're doing this? Like, why are they doing this? And then you realize you're like, oh, when I was 21, I was on cruise ships, drunk, like passed out in a hallway, like doing, like, you know, like it's just a different life.
Whole different world. We were 21.
Yeah, good thing no one had phones. I know that much. Oh, it's Derek in the hallway again. Oh,
you ain't kidding, man.
Yeah, really.
Yo, these guys, dude, these kids these days too, man. They got, dude, they're lifting, they're eating right, man. They're, you know, they want to be
different thing. Yeah.
They want to be the best, man. They want to be athletes. That's what I'm saying, man. Like Nick was a, something special. You know, I think he definitely pushed grappling in a different direction too, or made it think about itself. He sure made it think about itself with its wrestling and aggression.
Is he done now? Is he gone?
No, man. He's just he's hard to afford right now. He worked his tail off. He did like 60 matches in like a little over a year. Wow. You know what I mean? So, and listen, he's a smart kid. He don't party. He don't do nothing other than use his money to buy steaks. So, you know, he was smart with his money, man, and he's doing good. Does private lessons. He's up in Manhattan. I've been seeing him now because the Studio 84 is a little closer to him, to where he's at. So he's been dropping in on Saturdays to train with us again. But you know, he's just he's not a cheap guy to get on your card. And you know, right now he's just training and getting better, man. And you know, once they can start having fans in the seats again, you'll probably see a lot more of them.
Nice. Yeah, well, it's because we used like people. I always got a kick out of this, man, because like I'd be like offering guys like money to pay, like when we were just kind of like, because we had like a good like 6 days where we were like really popular, and then it just fucking went like then everybody else was like, fuck, who are these goofballs up in Canada? We do way better than that. But at one point we were like really, you know, kind of thought we were, I don't know, kind of on the cusp of something great. And I don't know where I was going with that. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
When you started the sub-series, man, it was
I threw myself right off
almost everybody else. I mean,
yeah, but what were we talking about? Fuck.
You were just talking.
Oh, you were just talking about how you were when you were starting up and everything. Oh, were you going to talk about money?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were like, you know, like it went from like the transition of like guys and girls competing for nothing to all of a sudden it was like, okay, give me like $200-300 till now it's like, oh no, I need 10 grand. It's like, I guess I'm out of this game real quick. Like, I guess we won't be doing any more shows.
Yeah, man.
Like Mo Jassim and the crew just like lit it on fire, man, and just took it to a whole different level, which is what you need. And the guys like Isai and Seth and everybody, like that's what you need to make this sport exciting and professional. And it's really cool to see, man.
Oh, guys can make some money now. It's awesome, right?
Huge.
Yeah. The shows are fantastic too, man.
Absolutely.
Like being at them is just it's really cool. It's really cool. And I'm pretty sure I've been to I think I've been to everything. I've been to except up there. I haven't been to you.
Yeah.
Well, wait. This is your first event with the Noop one, right?
We just did our first MMA
No, for grappling.
Yeah, so we're just doing this grappling event to keep our MMA brand going because we're with a commission. We have to go through a commission to do MMA.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hung up the sleeves. John did like the longest running and biggest grappling tournament in the Maritimes forever. And then we would do the shows, and then John and I just kind of combined forces, and like we both wanted to do MMA eventually. So we were just like, fuck it, let's do MMA.
Dude, MMA is fun, man.
Yeah, it
is. MMA is a lot of fun.
Do you like promoting it better?
I
in
do.
grappling?
I never see. Derek did the sub series on his own. So now for me, I did tons of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and that was great. Did that for a long time, but MMA was always more what I was interested in.
Yeah.
So then, like he said, we both got out of doing these tournaments because he also did big tournaments as well as his pay-per-view shows. So then once we both got out of that, we were just kind of like, hey, let's do MMA. But now with our whole commission shut down for the year, so we can't do MMA
Oh, jeez,
they just said
forget
They're just
it.
like, no, we're not doing anything this year. So it's not like we're just like, no, we're not doing MMA. Like we can't. Not right now. We're working on it. Derek's talking to these guys every chance he sees something on Instagram, and then so we just decided to do this grappling show in end of October. Like you said, keep the brand going and give some of these athletes a little bit of exposure and do what we can.
They're probably excited, man. They're probably excited to get back on the mats.
And exactly. And some of the guys on this now are guys that fought for us in February.
That's cool.
Fight for us again next year when we get up and running again. So,
but that's how crazy it is. So like the commission doesn't look after grappling, right?
Yeah.
So that's like a loophole where they don't look after grappling. So we can do
gray area. Yeah.
Right.
Can't get COVID when you grapple.
Yeah.
So. Right.
We're gonna.
Bro, I've been around. I've been in some rooms, man. Shoof. Packed rooms, man.
Yeah, I've definitely been in rooms where I thought I was gonna get leprosy. For sure.
Yeah. COVID, the least of your worries.
I like this dude. No, never we get one time. I don't know. I'm sure this has happened to you guys as well. But one time I was sitting there rolling, and this guy was on top of me. Like I don't mind sweating like real good hard rounds, and everyone's sweating and shit, just whatever. But sometimes when it's like a newer person and you're there, and like my go-to always with a newer person is I'll like sit in half guard. I'll just sit in half guard, in bottom half guard, and let them kind of do whatever. And I made the mistake. This guy, he was sweating like crazy. Anyway, he fucking sweated right in my mouth.
Dude.
I immediately stopped the roll. I stopped the roll. I got up. I was like,
oh man, that's bad.
Yeah. And nothing happened. Other than like all my lag hair on my right side fell out. Nothing happened.
That's bad, dude.
Shit happens, right?
I feel for you, man.
You're training, like weird stuff happens. We all know this. But obviously that never happened to you guys, I guess. So
thank God. Not like that.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gross. Yeah.
I'll tell you, MMA, dude. I've commentated probably about maybe 15 MMA events, amateur MMA events, dude. I'll tell you, I'm not as into the striking. Like I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. Like head kick knockouts, stuff like that. I just absolutely love. But my commentary style is just it's describing what's happening anyway. So it's not like I'm trying to say what he should be doing or she should be doing or anything like that. But I really enjoy commentating MMA, and I got to call two one-punch knockouts. And like I said, I've only done like 15 events for MMA, maybe a little more than that. But one to start a show and one to end a show. Both one-shot knockout right to the middle of the ring. Straight right. The other one was a straight left, dude. Just zombied him right in the middle of the mat.
What promotion?
One was the one that was on the last punch, or on the last fight of the card. It was the main event. It was a one-punch knockout. Was it was called Dead Serious MMA. Or no. I'm sorry, no. Asylum MMA, and then Dead Serious is the other one that I commentate for now. I just do the amateur stuff, but I do enjoy it. Way less prep work for jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu, I go crazy with the prep work for the black belt matches.
Fight to win and stuff. Like God, commentating those events, like man, there's like 700 matches. It's crazy.
Yeah. So now I've gone up to Boston and Connecticut for Fight to Win. So I've done Boston, Connecticut, New York, Jersey, Philly, Maryland for Fight to Win.
Good for
like
you,
maybe 17 to 20 events or so.
Team
but
mostly.
Because it's all in like my general area, like the Northeast area, dude, I pretty much know all the local guys because I've been going to tournaments since I was a blue belt. Like I've been going to tournaments around here since 2009. So like I pretty much know the majority of the people. But for the black belts, I like to get into detail of their records and submission or the finish percentage and stuff like that.
Well, it's important, man. Commentating's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Jimmy Smith up for our.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. He fucking never responded to our messages again though because he hates Canada after that trip.
Why?
The weather shut him down in Montreal. What was it? One night, almost two. Oh, it was brutal.
He definitely lost.
That's great though, man. That's awesome for your competitors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To have Jimmy Smith calling him,
it's incredible. Like world class.
He did a great job. It was awesome.
But like it'd be nice to get you up here sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, absolutely, man.
Yeah, man, we're close.
Absolutely, I'd come up there.
Well, it's not too far for sure. Like how
dude, dude, last year I did like Texas 3 times, California a couple times. I fly all over for jiu-jitsu, man.
Nice.
I go where you know what I mean?
Let's figure it out.
It's fun. Yeah.
What do you ever how's Mr. DeBlas doing?
He's good, man. So technically, the school I teach at, South Jersey, teach the 6 A's at where I got belted at, South Jersey Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a Ricardo Almeida black belt, Steve Bongiorno. Now his teammate Tom DeBlas. Yeah, his teammate's Tom DeBlas, which is Ricardo's black belt. Tom and my instructor came up together. So now the other school that I'm teaching at, Studio 84, is a Tom DeBlas affiliate. So I'm affiliated with both associations now. He's good, man. He's doing his thing, man. He kills it on with social media, man. Like as an influencer for jiu-jitsu. Yeah. He does well, man. He's got some tough competitors out there too. Same thing though, man. Not like don't get me wrong, it's black belts, Gary Tonin and those guys, but he's got a couple tough guys over there. Calvin Tracy. And he had a couple of the fight to win people move out there. Jaden Mueller and another little guy, I can't remember his name, little 25-pounder, 35-pounder, tough little kid. Cameron Mella, I think his name is. But he's doing his thing, man. Dude, we're strong in Jersey, man. Jersey's got some tough rooms, man. Some tough jiu-jitsu.
It's no question. Yeah.
And we're getting the trials, man. Dude, I'm so happy that we've been getting the trials, man. This is the 3rd time, at least. The last 2 were here, and this will be the 3rd time getting the trials here, man. And I got, dude, I got another guy that's another blue belt, man. That I don't know, man. I got a good feeling.
Nice. That's
these
awesome.
big guys, man. I'm telling you, these big guys. Teach them leg locks. Teach them to get to the back. They're hard to deal with, man. They're really hard to deal with when they're agile and they can move.
Terrifying, in fact.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. Fucking terrifying.
It really is. They're blue belts, man. Training like 3 years. Yeah. It's crazy.
That, man, I have a lot of trouble with those. Like I'm about 180. Like that's about my weight. Anywhere between like 176 and 181, something usually. And I have trouble with around anything over 205, 210. I'm like, okay, like I can't match what you got. It really does make a difference. And then when you take someone who's that big and so athletic, it's like
that's a lot to deal with, man.
Oh,
the speed thing is just it's hard. It's extremely hard to deal with, man. And that's what I mean. Then when you start teaching somebody who's not only 215 pounds and athletic, now you start teaching them incredibly effective, efficient, and painful ways to pass the guard. And, dude, when we get to the back, like our focus isn't even to get to like the strangulation. Like I have them turning the chin so that we're focusing on the jaw manipulation, the skull moving away from the jaw, like finishing that way from rear naked chokes, like just trying to make it as painful for the person on bottom as possible. So when you have to deal with that on top of it,
everyone just went silent. Everyone's like, I know I'm not rolling with Jay. Let's just go light, Jay.
Well, there goes my competition career.
Hey, welcome to episode 124. That's awesome. Yeah,
very good, very good.
Tom came up to. I'll tell you, man. Like Gordon. So Gordon, I met Gordon when we did a show back. Tom was a main event for us in Toronto. It was a show we did in Toronto. It was
Joel Cease. Do Joel Cease?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I watch way too much jiu-jitsu, dude. I watch so much jiu-jitsu.
And I don't know where that went. I lost the footage. We lost it. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you're kidding.
We lost that whole event. We had a lot of issues with that event. And but yeah, we had streaming issues. We didn't know what the fuck. We went up with 3 people did this huge event. It cost me like $20,000. I had no clue what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. Not a clue. Like, fuck, like a blue belt, maybe. Like, hey, Tom. Like, Joel Cease. Hey, I'm Kat. Nice to meet you. Like, we sat in the lobby. I'll never forget it. Myself and Dan Vanderland, who was the commentator that came out. We sat in the lobby with Tom and Gordon Ryan, who at the time was like skinny as a rake. And I think he was 16 maybe at the time or something. We sat there till like 4 a.m. And these guys were over in the corner, all drunk and like being all hooligans and like talking shit. And right away it was going like just they were kind of like, oh, don't worry about those guys. And I felt super confident. I was like, oh, they'll fuck them up, right? Like you now here, look at him now, like he's just like a bad
Dude,
man.
It's crazy how this area, like the area that I live in, within, I'm going to say like a 40-mile radius, you're talking DeBlas, Gordon, Gary, Nicky Rod, Nicky Ryan, all are from like 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Like for that kind of concentrated talent, that shows you that the instruction has something to do with it. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you that those guys, their work ethic, most people couldn't even do it for a week, let alone, you know what I mean? Do it for a week, let alone to do it for years. Man, I've been commentating Gordon. I've commentated Gordon's like first super fights, a lot of Gary Tonon's first super fights. I've been watching Gordon since he was a blue belt, Gary since he was a blue belt, like in the gi, watching them do matches. So Eddie Cummings, all his original stuff started those PGLs. Man, watching those guys come up.
We got Nicky Ryan's first super fight.
Did you really? Who did he go against there? Some 18-year-old kid probably back then.
Nicky was 15 at the time, and no, he was like Danny. I'll send you the video. It's on our Facebook, actually, on our Facebook.
Yeah.
It's still there. He was like 28 or 29, Danny, at the time. He came in like a full warrior suit and shit, and then Nicky tapped him in like 30 seconds.
Nicky heel hooked him, dude. Nicky's so good, man. Nicky's so good.
Yeah,
dude, he's still so young, man. Now he's getting big. Yo, and here's the thing. Dude, they got a regiment over there, man. And you got him, living with Gordon, him, Ethan. Dude, they're just lifting every day. Training it constantly. It's going to be tough, man. They're just. Did you get to watch his match at Ramos?
I didn't watch it yet. No.
Yeah, it was just
Davey Ramos.
No, he went against Friday night, or was it Friday night? Who's number one on Friday night? He went against Tony Ramos, the wrestler.
Oh shit! He beat him.
Yeah, submitted him in 22 seconds. And again, you step into. Nicky sits and you step into his guard. I at that moment when Ramos stepped his foot into the guard, it was checkmate. Yeah. You weren't getting that back. You needed to stay outside, wrestle him, throw his foot in there. You needed to stall a little bit. That's what you needed to do.
Did you not watch any tape of Nicky Ryan?
Man, you know what? I'll tell you this. He could have just been so confident that he had a guard pass that was going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but did he not like? It's like there's another guy who's like Jersey guys like Richie Savage. What's his name?
He's tough as hell, man. He trains with that crew, man. Fuck, Pat Downey.
All tough guys.
You know what? I got to call the Downey. I called the Downey Gordon match. I called their wrestling match, and I got to commentate their jiu-jitsu match and their wrestling match in the same night.
Oh, nice!
I got to do the commentary for that. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
No.
Gordon went against Downey. You're not going to believe what happened. The wrestler won the wrestling match, and the jiu-jitsu guy won the jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
What?
You're not going to believe it.
It was cool.
It's just such a different sport, man.
It's
But I'll tell you, these wrestlers
we were talking about, man.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if these wrestlers hooked up with a team who focused them on how to score and how to protect their legs, it would be dangerous.
Yeah.
It would be dangerous. You know, if they got the drive,
I rolled with a Division I guy down at Ryan Hall's gym a few years ago, and he was the same size as me, and I was a brown belt, and he was a white belt. And I got him in my guard, and me trying to sweep him with his hip stability and his ability to regain his base, we just were checkmated. He couldn't pass, and I couldn't sweep, but it was brown belt and white belt with D1 wrestling, and his base and his reflexes were ridiculous.
Yeah. Just
blue belt, he would have passed me. You know?
Yeah. Levels to it, eh? Well,
it really is, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut us off here, but I guess we've reached our hour mark. We're very close to our hour mark, but I want to thank you so much, Jay, for joining us the first time, but this won't be the last, man. Hopefully,
awesome talking,
dude. Anytime you want, man. I can talk for hours.
A wealth of knowledge. You know, it's that's the thing. You know, it's nice because a lot of times in this podcast, it's up and coming athletes, or we're trying to focus on local kids or whatever so it's nice that when we can get people on with lots of knowledge and that like passing the knowledge too, man. So and anytime you want to, anytime you want to commentate or whatever, maybe we can get you doing something for this upcoming grappling event on the side if you're interested. Do something.
Absolutely, man. I'm always available, man. Yeah, I'm always available, man. That would be dope. That would be cool.
That's cool. Maybe we'll figure something out. All right, cool, buddy. Well, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
South Jersey BJJ in Studio 84. That's come check us out, man. We're in Jersey. I just guarantee you excellent training out there, man.
No question.
Oh, and what else I got? Trying to think of who's got something coming up.
You must have a beard sponsor.
No. No, I think that's it. Danielle Kelly, man, one of the girls I help manage. She's got a match coming up against Roxy in Submission Hunter Pro, and that's for the title. That's a big one coming up. Nicky Rod, man, check out his Nicky Rod All Access. That's pretty cool. You got to see his podcast. Pretty funny. He's got some. He has some fun on there.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah.
What a life.
And keep an eye out for Amanda too. If you're in Philly, Amanda Levy BJJ, check out her school. She's going to be on the MMA scene heavy coming soon too.
Nice. Cool, man. Awesome. All great people and fantastic athletes. You raise them well, my friend. Thank you for what you've done for the jiu-jitsu community, and thanks for all the advice you've given over the years, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on, man, and would love to be back, man.
Till next time.
Absolutely.
Take care, man.
All right, Jay Regalbuto. I might have murdered it on the way out. I don't think you did, man. I got nervous.
It's phonetic.
yeah. That was a great episode. What a great guy, eh?
I love his approach, man. He's very analytical. Just makes a ton of sense, you know.
So smart. And it's interesting because, like, for me, it's like, you've talked to these people for years, literally like years, through social media or whatever, and through ideas back and forth, or got advice or head athletes or whatever. And it's really cool to actually kind of finally sit down and have like a real candid conversation with somebody. I learn so much on these podcasts all the time. Like it's fantastic. I'd love to have him up here for an event at some point.
He'd kill it. He can talk.
He certainly would kill it. I think so too.
Yeah.
He might. He'd be better. He's not like Jimmy in Miami. He'd be all right. He's in Jersey, so he'd be like, fuck.
He gets winter. Yeah.
He'd get winter. He's not. So shout out to Jimmy Smith. We love you, man. Sorry for putting you through that. I hope you're safe down in the beautiful Miami weather. Not that we're jealous or anything, but still nice up here.
Oh,
anyway, folks, our pay-per-view is now available for pre-order at fightleagueatlantic.com. Pay-per-view October 24th. Yes. 16 giant absolute weight class men competing in one cage or octagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus a bunch of other matches.
Other men at other weights competing.
Yeah. No, it's going to be sweet, man. I mean, having the cage and all that to contend with.
That's a good radio ad. We should put up
sick.
16 shirtless men competing in a cage.
Yeah, I'll send it to K-Rock.
Hosted by. I was going to say something bad. I'm glad I stopped myself.
And that, folks, is it.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, get out there and buy that pay-per-view. Like I said, it's available for pre-order. All pre-orders going in to a contest for a nice little swag bag from Fight League Atlantic. Get out there. Fight League Atlantic has all our shop. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you can do, and keep supporting. It's appreciated. And John and I are working hard to bring you good content and good events.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Thank
buddy.
you, everybody, for the support.
All right, man.
Derek,
we'll be back
brother.
tomorrow night, I think. I don't know what day's today. Monday. I'm in quarantine, day 7. John said to me tonight, he said, oh, yeah, you're quarantined. You must be, you're off
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another week of quarantine left.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not out tomorrow, but next week. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Life
I'll
can be
send you
worse.
some pictures of the outdoors.
Yeah, please do. Please do. What are those animals you speak of?
Yeah. The leaves will all be gone by the time you get back out.
Yeah. Winter's here. Is the event over yet, John?
Yeah, everything's over. You
Yeah.
missed it. Yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again, John. See you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Later.
We are out of here.